Hello, my name is Eva, and this is my daughter Alyssa.
Hi, are you about to just give birth and you are a first time mom and you are wondering how it is to go into labor? Then this video is definitely for you, so keep watching. My name is Eva. I am doing lifestyle and motherhood videos. I gave birth to my first girl 3 years ago, and the reason why I am actually refilming the video is because 3 years ago I started my YouTube channel and I wasn't as comfortable on the camera as I am right now. And when I was telling the story, I was stopping like a million times and refilming like a million times. So now, so many years later, I think it is a good time to refilm it and tell the story the proper way. However, you know what? I will link the old video down below, and if you are interested of my, real first time emotions, then go ahead over there because obviously now 3 years later, all this newborn baby blues and all of this is gone. But anyway, I will tell you the story of how I gave birth to my first daughter naturally. I had no epidural, and I will also include a little bit of tips here and there to help you go through if you are thinking that a natural labor is something you would like to do. And that's been taught, let's start the video. So I was due in February. I think 17 or 19. My due date was a little bit off those 2 days. I am not really sure which day was it. Anyway, on at night, I believe it was around 12 a.m. I woke up with my water brought in bed. If you don't know how it feels, well, it is a warm liquid. You will not mistake it with pee, with urine, because it's different. It's just like bush, and it was just going. However, not for everybody it's like that. And also I was it was on 18th, so I was right in my time to deliver, so I knew what it is. Prior to that, I have to mention that I did have I was, oh my god, what is it called when the doctor comes and just I will link it down below, the name for it, because I forgot. Anyway, I had this, and I believe that it's what helped me to dilate and make the water break. The whole process of this thing was very uncomfortable. It was kind of painful, but I read many negative opinions about that, that it hurt like who knows what. No, it was very uncomfortable. I had a feeling that the doctor put her hand in my stomach basically. That's how uncomfortable it was, and it gave me a lot of cramping, and the mucus plaque start coming out right after that. So this definitely helped me go into labor. I feel like if I didn't have this, I wouldn't go into labor for like many days later, maybe even after, because prior to that I did not have any symptoms of upcoming labor. Maybe cramps here and there, but nothing would be like, oh yeah, that's the time. So yeah, back to the story. I woke up all wet and went to the bathroom. I think it was maybe 1 p.m. Yeah, I think it was 1 a.m. Yeah, sorry, it was at night, around 1 a.m. So I went to the washroom. I started getting ready. I put makeup on. I straightened my hair. Silly me. Then I woke up my husband and told him that it's time to go because my water broke. And that being said, my water kind of stopped leaking. Nothing was really happening. I took all the towels to the car to sit on, and everything was ready. My hospital was super close. I think at that time I lived maybe 10 minutes away, and yeah, we got to the hospital quite quickly. They admitted me to the labor and delivery room. They examined me. I was at that point 4 centimeters dilated, so that's pretty good. But my water wasn't breaking anymore. So they kind of dumped me about that, and they were about to send me home when my water broke even more. Thank you to God, because otherwise they would send me away, and that's the worst thing ever. So after that, after they admit me to the hospital, they put me in the hospital grind, and I wish I had some videos, some pictures from that time, but as a first mom I did not think about that. I was very nervous because obviously I did not know what to expect. They asked me if I want epidural. I said no, but I asked if I change my mind if it's still possible to get it. So prior to that, I did not want epidural. I wanted natural labor. I wanted breastfeed. I wanted to be all that holistic mama thing. And I prepared myself pretty well for a natural labor, I have to say, because I did not ended up having epidural, but I will get to that. So things start getting serious about 3 a.m. because prior to that my water broke, but nothing really happened. I had no contractions at all, nothing was happening. They put the IV in my hand. Oh, I feel like this is the worst part of the whole labor, is that IV. I hate it so much. Actually, I didn't say, if you were new, I have 2 daughters. My second daughter was born only a year and a half after this labor, so that means something. Anyway, so I got the IV on, and my my contractions finally happened. And at first I was breathing through the nose or to my mouth, just like just like a book would say. Everything was perfect. I was managing the pain like a pro. I was, on all of those Facebook support groups for like my due date, and it was going great. My husband was sleeping on the couch beside me. Yeah. But I was able to manage the pain and all of that, so I didn't see the point to wake him up, because why not? Like, let him rest. I didn't know how long I am going to be over there. So anyway, at 3 a.m. everything started happening, and that pain progressed more and more and more. And I don't know about you, but whenever I have a migraine, I'm having migraines, I always throw up. This is the way of my body deals with pain, I guess. So the nurse brought me like a bucket, and I was throwing up like crazy. Uh, I ma- I was attending a birth classes with doula, and she said that it's great to keep moving and to changing positions, but for me the best way it was to just sit in the bed. I didn't want to like get up at all, because the pain was getting worse and worse and worse with like every 5 minutes or so, and to the point that at one point I don't even know what time was, and like the time frame like completely blur at this point, because yeah, that's what's happening. So anyway, oh yeah, I was so much in pain, like it was crazy. I was going to the bathroom. My husband woke up finally, and he was taking me to the bathroom back and forth, back and forth. My water was like keep breaking all the time, so it was like wet and gross and so much more in pain. And to the point that eventually I asked for gas, and I think at that point I was 7 centimeters dilated. So from time frame from like 1 a.m. to I don't know what time was at that point. I would say 5. I went from 4 to 7 centimeters, and that's great, right? I know some people are laboring for days and days, and they don't get that far. So anyway, the pain got so hard, so strong, that I could throw all those breathing techniques and all of that out of the window. And I don't want to scare you or anything, because I survived 2 labor, and I don't have a problem to go into my 3rd labor at all. There is nothing traumatic about that. You will forget about that pain in some ways. I am making this video because I kind of remember how it felt. Like, I mean, I don't remember how the pain really felt. It felt like you were dying. Like, basically, I was breathing this gas like crazy. It made me so high. That's the negative part of the gas, if you are consider. It made me high. Like, I was like out of my body kind of thing, you know? Like, I don't know. It's not even like I was smoking marijuana. It's not this kind of high. Like, a very, very weird feeling. And maybe I wish I wasn't inhaling so hard, because I did had gas with my second labor too, but I have more of like a memory of this period, of that transition stage. That's how it's called. That's from 7 centimeters to 10 centimeters. It's the worst pain ever. Up to this stage, you know, everything is manageable, but from 7 to 10, it's when the contractions are coming one after another, and you have like zero, absolutely zero break. So, yeah, be ready for that. But also don't stress about that. If you are going into labor soon, don't stress about that pain, because if you are in the action, the only thing you think about is to just born this baby finally and be over it. And you do everything right, your body knows what to do, and this is all normal, that pain is normal. And tip for you, if you are thinking of a natural labor, and even that I say that all those breathing techniques and all of that I could throw out of the window, still prepare yourself as much as possible, as many affirmation, you know, positive thoughts as possible. Get biology lessons, because even that from that 7 centimeters to 10 centimeters, you will forget everything and you will pray to God for this to finish. To that 7 centimeters point, it's going to be very helpful for you, and it just helps you, you know. So anyway, that 7 to 10 centimeters, I think I will put the most story into it, because it is the most important part for me, or the most painful part. And I think that's where those bird horror story coming from, and all the story that it feels like all your bones been breaking. You know what, I had never had a broken bone. I don't know how it feels, but this feels horrible, but you can still manage that pain and go through that. Like, we all have to, right? But at that point, I remember I was going to the bathroom, because I feel like I had to go for number 2 to the bathroom. So my husband helped me, and when I was doing the contractions, I feel like I have to do it. So I sit on the toilet and I pushed. Yeah, watch for those feelings, because this is not contractions anymore, or like going to bathroom kind of thing. This was pushing contractions, so they are completely different. And let me tell you, if you try, I know that sometimes doctor says please don't push because of something, and you have to hold that feeling. I cannot imagine that, because everything in your body says push, push, and you just have to do it. It's not even like you have a choice. It's just happening. You just pushing. So if you are afraid of this stage of labor, don't, because there is nothing to be scared about. I think at that point it was around 7, I would say, maybe even later, because my pushing part wasn't as long. Anyway, I was pushing in that bathroom, and once the contraction stopped, I didn't have a pushing feeling anymore. So when I was like trying to do number 2 in the toilet, nothing was happening, because that temptation was gone. So I told the nurse that this is how I feel, and she's like, okay, let's go sit and let's check you out. So just when she said that, there are no other contractions came. So oh my god, like my husband was helping me to get to that bed, plus the IV. I hate that IV so much, because it was on my way. I had to carry that whole thing with me. So I sit on the bed with that horrible pain. I wasn't yelling or anything. I was just inhaling this gas like crazy and getting out of this ward. So I sit, I lay down, they checked me, and I was 10 centimeters, and what I was feeling, it was pushing contractions. That wasn't anymore those contractions to like open you up. So yeah, that's what it was. And all of a sudden, like everybody came to the room, like so many people, like my doctor came, and it was time to push. I remember I was so scared. I was extremely scared that nurses were telling me to calm down, and they tell me how to push. And I remember that I actually listened to her, and that definitely helped. So this is how you push, okay? You put your chin to your chest, obviously like legs up and open and all of that as wide as possible, so the baby can just like fly out. Anyway, do not waste your energy on yelling or talking or making any kind of sound, okay? Be quiet and focus on pushing. Whenever I tried to make some kind of noises, I got distracted and I wasn't progressing. I don't know for how long I was pushing. I think 30 minutes or so. Not very long time for a first time mom. So yeah, definitely be quiet, be focused on the job. Do not yell at this point, because that will distract you and it brings the energy somewhere else, not to the bottom part of your body, well, if you know what I mean. So my daughter was born at, oh my god, I don't remember, 8:30 a.m. or something like that. When she came out, she wasn't crying the right way. She had amniotic fluid in her lungs, and they had to take her away from me. But I was so in shock and everything that I was kind of like numb in feelings, I was happy she's out, but I wasn't too much concerned on her well-being. I know my husband was with her the whole time. I was more focused on myself, to be honest. And I had second degree here, so my OBG was sewing me up, and and yeah, like from that point on, like it was all good. But no, my daughter came back to me like quite fast. She went to NICU like just for a second, because right when they took her away, she started breathing as she should. But they tell me that the reason for this might be because my labor was quite fast. So I don't remember exactly all the time frames when was happening what, but I do remember that my total labor from my water breaking at home to having my daughter in my arms, it was 6 hours 45 minutes. So for the first time birth, mom, it is a pretty good score. And I am not saying that this is some kind of competitions or anything, nothing like that at all, but it does definitely help if you like I said, prepare yourself for the labor. Please do your research, do your homework, know all the stages of labor. You see that it was 3 years ago, the first birth. The second birth was like a year and a half ago, so I don't remember exactly the names for it. I just remember the transition, because you feel like you're dying. Oh, and also I didn't say that during that 7 to 10 centimeters, I was like yelling for epidural. No, sorry, I think I was already feeling those pushing contractions. I was like begging for epidural. I just, please give me that epidural. Or I was even thinking, please take me for C-section. Yeah, when you feel like that, that means that you are pretty close, because this is really hard. This is like definitely the hardest part of the whole labor. So yeah, I think my first labor was a positive labor, definitely. It left some kind of scars, like mental scars, for a very short period of time, because, like, let's face it, that's labor, okay? It is a lot for woman body, and you're giving life, so it's okay to feel overwhelmed, to feel sore. It's okay to ask for help or to be alone with your child, like whatever makes you feel better, ask for it, and don't be scared or like just don't feel bad to make requests to your family to, for example, not to come the first thing after you give birth, because you need time to yourself, you need to adjust to the new situation, because like going from 1 to 2 kids was so easy because I already knew what to expect. Plus I had lots of complications with my first daughter in terms that she wasn't breastfeeding properly, and that's also one thing. I was so hooked for like not for like breastfeeding, and I did not see any other options like at all. So when this wasn't happening and I like keep trying, I ended up at the hospital like 2 days after I left the hospital with my daughter. We already dehydrated and losing weight like crazy, and she was born 6 pounds 30 ounces, so she was quite small, right? So for her losing even more weight, it just wasn't optional, it wasn't safe for her. Anyway, this is my birth story. I can't believe my daughter will be 3 years old and I become mom 3 years ago. Like, oh my god, like this is crazy. So I am definitely happy about my story. If you are interested of my second birth, then I will link it down below as well, because spoiler alert, from my water, I was induced the second time, but spoiler alert, from my water breaking to having my second daughter, it was hour and a half only, and there wasn't a doctor on the in the room because nobody expected me to give labor so fast. And second time around I also knew how those pushing contractions feels like, so I called them right away, hey, like she's coming, and they did not believe me, and basically the nurse took my daughter, the second daughter, because my doctor wasn't there, and that was absolutely crazy. Oh, and also I mentioned at the very beginning with the first labor that I put makeup on and everything. My hair was like a big mess. I could not brush them for like few days. They were just like, oh, that was crazy. Good time, definitely. So yeah, that was my birth, and yeah, it was definitely good time. Good time. You know, after all being said, it was good time because I brought my little girl to this world. Anyway, this is it for today's story. I hope you enjoy it. I hope maybe you will go and check the first version of the labor and delivery of my girl Alyssa. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe if you are new. Even that I am not making as much of a motherhood videos anymore, I have plenty of videos for you to watch if you would like to go back in time a little bit. They are good, like I had a good camera all the time, so this video are good quality. Maybe I am a little bit awkward on the camera, but you know, we learn as we go. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave it down below. When is your due date, what is your birth plan, all of that. And I hope I will see you with my next video.